Hey YouTube. So, I've had a raging caffeine addiction for the last 20 years, and probably as you know, anyone that's in programming or technology usually has this issue. I have an additional issue where my metabolism of drugs is very slow, and so I can't actually really do coffee in the morning because it takes too long to brew and consume, because caffeine lasts almost exactly 16 hours for me, and the tail end of it is longer than that. So I have been taking no dose pills instead the second I wake up so that I don't have issues sleeping, or I have as little issues sleeping as possible. And as a result of this long metabolism, my body does not get a break from caffeine, so my tolerance builds up extremely fast, and I struggle with this, and I've struggled with it for the last 20 years. Um, I I tend to crash on the weekends and then have a completely unproductive weekend most of the time. And I hate the fact that I am overtaxing my brain from Monday through Friday and then don't have any time for myself on the weekends. So I've looked for multiple alternative caffeines and not really landed on anything else just yet. I played with dynamine, and it's a shorter acting caffeine, which seems ideal, but it creates a tolerance that is even more rapid than regular caffeine. So that's just not really an option for me. Then also I've played with theacrine, which is sort of a milder caffeine, but the problem is that it lasts longer than caffeine for me, so it always creates sleep disturbances. Even though I like the absence of jitteriness and um, the lack of like body heat and everything, like it's not as adrenal or stimulating as caffeine. It just lasts too long. So those so many different substances have been crossed off the list as a replacement. So at this point in my life, I am looking for a way to manage my tolerance and still have a life on the weekends. And I came across some information that was a little bit promising. Um, Caffeine will deplete your adrenal hormones and also deplete your dopamine as well, which is why you feel cranky at Friday and irritable. It's because like you've sort of just wrung out your glands, and they don't have anything to give you anymore. You've spent it. This is the sad part about caffeine. So I thought, why not help the body make these um, these substances while you're using it, and also take a large dose on the weekend when you crash off of caffeine, so that you don't have as bad of a crash. And I found out that you can actually buy adrenal glandular online legally, and you've been able to buy this for a long time, and it's not controversial. And also, you can buy mucuna pruriens, uh, pruriens. I don't know how to say it. This is interesting because it actually contains some L-DOPA, along with other things that help boost dopamine production. So you could actually use this as something for Parkinson's. And in fact, this might actually be what they make Parkinson's medications out of. So I thought, okay, it's rather extreme to be using a gland extract, because this is the exact stuff that's in an adrenal gland. And you could get physiologically addicted to this to the point where your own body's production slows down or stops. So these and this, you can get a tolerance to dopaminergic substances, and so you don't want to use this and this all the time. You absolutely do not want to, because you will end up probably in a worse place than you would perpetually using caffeine. It would be horrible if my adrenal gland stopped producing. So this is not a replacement. However, I have tried this over the weekend, in stepping down from 300 milligrams. Normally on Saturday I will go to 150, and then on Sunday I will be at anywhere from 50 to 100, and then I will have regenerated enough of my tolerance. But it's actually not even adequate. I need to crash harder than that, and sometimes this crash is a 3-day affair where the tapering continues into Monday. and that's not good. Or it starts on Friday, which is also not good. Um, but I went on a pretty extreme crash this weekend. I took 75 milligrams of caffeine thinking, okay, I'm going to feel like absolute shit if this stuff doesn't work. To my surprise, to my very pleasant surprise, I took this immediately in the morning, and within a couple hours I felt like the lower energy level of the crash had just lifted, and I was just back to normal, as if I had not even been taking caffeine or having these ups or downs. Is like I was like normalized. And I was like, wow, this stuff, I mean, I knew it would work. Glandulars work really, really well, and in fact many of them are superior to the synthetics because they have more of a full spectrum effect. But it worked really well, except I noticed that I didn't feel motivated to go out and do anything. So that I was like, yeah, that's the caffeine withdrawal happening, because my body is desperately trying to make more dopamine now that a drug is not interfering with that process. So I took the mucuna, and within a couple hours of that, I also had the additional effect of wanting to go out and work on my bike and go do shopping and take a walk and all sorts of things. And I was like, oh, so this also really works really well. And I'm actually, this is Sunday now, and this is my second day. I had about 25 milligrams of caffeine, and I've taken this combo again at the same time instead of in steps. And I feel like I have taken caffeine without the buzz, or like the anxiety, or the feeling that like, oh, I gotta go do something, gotta go. I'm just have this level of calm of, well, I can do something if I want to, nothing's pressing. I feel way less stressed because I'm not so tired, and I can go out and do something if I want to. So this is working exceedingly well, well beyond my expectations, and I don't think that this is ultimately a replacement for caffeine, though. I still need to find something, but this helps you manage the crash extremely well, to a point where I think next week I would feel confident going completely cold turkey on Saturday and just waking up, taking both of those, and going about my business. And then the next day, maybe I'll try to take half, so that I can not end up with a tolerance to these, and my body can recuperate really well. So yeah, I am looking for something that is a little less crazy than these two, but these two work for the time being until I find my caffeine replacement. So hopefully this has been useful to you, and again, please, for the love of God, do not take this daily, or this, because you will end up very likely in a very bad place with your hormones and dopamine system, and then your withdrawal from these would be much more horrible than withdrawing from caffeine in the long run, especially if your own production of adrenal hormones shuts off. But if you're on this horrible cycle like I am, give it a try. It's $40 from this company. Surely there's plenty of other providers that sell high quality stuff. I like Swanson Vitamins because they produce their own supplements in a pretty high quality lab, and I've gotten some stuff from them that was from other supplement sellers, very expensive and actually very, very hard to accurately make. And they nailed the formula. So I think that the quality of their supplements in general is quite good. Again, nobody pays me to say any of this. I am just a person that experiments on his own health and really doesn't like allopathic medicine. So do your own research, please. Look for your own brands. Do your own brand research. I don't advocate for any particular brand, and actually this idea that I'm talking about right now, I think it's a little bit crazy. It's a little further than I would like to wander. Ideally what would be better for this crash prevention is something that helps your body produce these corticosteroids from the adrenal and the dopamine within its own natural ranges of production, so that you're not overriding what your body wants to do. You want to help support your body in producing these things, and maybe you could combine that with a small amount of this stuff for one day, and then for Sunday, forget it. Continue taking the other supplement. So when I come up with version 2 of this crash protocol, I'll let you know and detail what it is that I came up with. I have currently 25 untested supplements sitting on my desk that I need to go through, so there will be more videos on this topic. And yeah, thanks for watching as usual, and I hope you have yourself a nice weekend. Hopefully a nice one is what I'm having. All right, peace.